April only being 3 weeks long, I've devised this so it's, I wouldn't say simpler, but there's less big moving parts and structure to go into it. So there's just one major complex bit, and the rest are all very good strength and balance exercises. So individually they make very good exercises to do. So for this video I'm going to just show them in their individual parts, and then right at the end of the video I'll show it as a bit of a flow going through. So I'm aware that last week in April, that doesn't mean that you can't carry this on for that 4th week and give it that extra practice that it can happen, and I would strongly recommend to do that, because going on into May we will use some of these movements together with some of the movements we've already done to work on a new floor, but it won't be many new movements we'll be learning. We'll learn most of the movements, and it will just be putting it together in a new sequence, so the complexity will be in that. So in terms of the movements we're doing, we're starting off with the flat backs. Flat backs, the clue is in the name, that it is all about the flat back. So this bit stays straight as we bend. So we bend from the hips and the hips only. Feet are going to be pointing forward for this. And the hips are going to try and stay pretty central. They will have a wobble back, but we don't want to push them massively back. To keep your back straight, I'm going to recommend your shoulders going back. So big position like this. So from here, because your shoulders are back, it should pin your upper back pretty straight. So it's hard to bend. Head stays back. Imagine a tennis ball in here. And then from there, we're going to start to rock forwards, bending just at the hips. Go as far as you can go without bending through your spine. And then you're going to squeeze through your glutes, and then bring your hamstrings into play a bit. And we're going to come back up to standing like so. So once again, we're just going to run through 6 of these. So as well as strengthening, it's also working through that end range that you can bend to. Good. So keeping that back straight is the main bit, flat backs. Your next bit of flat backs is going for a wider stance. We're going to kick the hips out to one side. So this bit we're working on a sideways position, but again we're keeping the back flat. So think this bit always stays straight up even though we're tilting. So the hips are going to go to the side, like so. That's your first position. So see, I'm already leaning, but my back is staying flat. From there, my arm's going to go up, and I'm going to continue to push through this arm as I bend as far as I can, like so. And then back to the centre, and then I kick out to the other side, pushing through that one, and bending sideways again through position. Pushing back, kick the hips, pushing, and again kick the hips, pushing, kick the hips, pushing, and back to the centre. Good. So now you'll feel it as you go there and that way. You feel it here and also here. You should be reaching. You'll also feel it down in that back, around about your mid back, because all your core is trying to brace and be a strong position. It's very muscular in that. Your second bit, this your final bit with these flat backs, is to go kick, bend, and then we're going to bend forwards at the hips. Now this will only be a small bend because you're already in a tight position. You're not going to get that far, so don't try and push it too much. Again, we're going to keep that head tucked in as if you're holding a tennis ball in there. We're going to go kick the hips, bend, and then we're going to tilt forward like so. back, in, kick, bend, bend forward, back, and again we're just going to do 2 more of these. Back and back, kick, lean, bend, and back in. Good. There are your flat backs. The whole idea of those is to get that back brace, get it strong, almost ready for the rest of the session. Again, it's a really good strength drill just to start to feel and be upright in that posture in your spine. Moving on from that, we're going to look at scales. So scales are a leg lift and then a forward bend with your leg coming up at the back. So in this, I'm going to do 2 to either side and then 2 to either side with the lunge or the reach going into that warrior pose. So I'm going to lift the leg up. I'm going to keep straight legs, straight spine. So the leg's going to come up like so. I'm going to get that balance. So if you're doing this, feel free to get your balance by lifting one leg up off the floor and then do it in little stages and take your time with it. So we're going leg lift and we're going to bend from the hips and then through into that position. Once again, we're going to lift through that leg as high as it can go and bring it back, bend through the hips and then through, like so. I'm going to show you from the front, just to give you that front-on perspective. Leg lift, bending through the hips. So notice here, my hips are pointing straight down, my shoulder pointing straight down. I'm going to maintain those lines throughout. And then again, leg lift, bend from the hips pointing down, shoulders pointing down, maintaining them straight lines, back in. Brilliant. From there, we're going to find the floor behind for the warrior pose. So we go leg lift, leg back, find the floor, bending that front knee, and from there we've got that big reach overhead. Step in, lift, bend through the hips, bending at that front knee, finding the floor, and reaching through like so. That's your scale into warrior pose. So as you move along through the weeks, you might feel like I'm just going to do the scale into warrior pose. I don't really need to do the scales and practice those. That's brilliant. Go with that. So as you progress, go through to the full movement at the end. And from there, we're going to look at that hoist stance through. So how I'm going to show this is I'm going to do 1 rep to either side in each of the stages, and I'm just going to keep progressing through so that you're watching the video and you can just see the move happening. Again with this, as you get to the next stage and as you progress, you can just get rid of the sections building in. Hoist stance is a wide stance, like you sat on a hoist, knees slightly bent. So for this, you can begin by doing those little practice breaths. Breathe in, breathe out, and lower, and take it in. Breathe out, lower, and work on that depth. Like so. Then find yourself in a nice bouncy position. From there, we're just going to go arms out, and we're going to go head, look. And then shoulders move. And then torso, and then move the hips and that leg into this position. And then we're just going to come back. Head, shoulders, torso, hip and ankle, and back into that position. We're going to add that arm movement. So your right arm is going to come under, and your left arm is going to go over. So into that position with your head, shoulders turning, arm coming up into that position. So the 90 degrees and back, and then again, coming through, and back. This time we're going to carry on going, so we're going to go through, into that 180 degrees, and back through, and again, into that 180 degrees, and back through. Good. This time we're going to go into that bigger move. We're going to go all the way over. We're going to go through, all the way over, into 180. The arm carries on going. We come all the way back, so we've done 360. Once again, coming through, all the way over, 360. I'm going to do that 2 more times, so 1 more to either side. I'm coming under, and back, and again under, and back. Cool, good. So feel free to watch that quite a few times as you're doing it. It does take some practice. It's one of those things, do it with an essence of fun involved. Because there's that thing that's it's going to kind of mess up a bit. Sometimes I find do it a few slow times and then just see if you can just get that speed going up. We're now going to do the full thing where it would just carry on going, and I'm going to put that drop stance in as the change direction. So I'm coming under, like so, over, under, and this can carry on going until drop stance. And now I can change direction. Drop stance. Now I change direction again. So that's how your arm circle goes. Feel free to watch that as many times as you want, or it might be that you just practice one of the early simple versions and then just give it a go. So you can add speed to it once you get that fluidity, and sometimes the speed helps, it frees up a little bit, but it could, hopefully, maybe, go something a little bit like this. A little bit, maybe, I don't know. If it looked good, it looked good. If not, this might get deleted. It might just be me speaking with not even video there to look at it. So that is your kind of flow throughout. The teacup that we're doing in the sessions, that's just, you know, you can practice that on your own if you want to, but it's just a bit of fun for the end of the sessions. Your flow in general could, or should, look something like this. It would start with this scale. So this is how we're going to end towards week 3. Into that position. Now as we turn from there into that position, we'll have gone there, and that will continue through, up, round, through, drop stance, turn, in, scale, scale, find the floor, push it out, and off we go. Like so, and in, and to that, and that would be how this would go on and work. So that is your flow for this month, April's month. Enjoy.